dokie. Looks like I'm alive. And my microphone sounds like trash. That's fine. Whatever. Hey. I just got one of these babies in. So I'm going to go ahead and start programming some stuff for my Constellation 2ME. If I can get this open. I don't have any tools on me. Alright. This is a somewhat impromptu live stream. Because I wasn't sure when I was getting this in. I thought I wasn't going to get it until like next Tuesday. But here we go. So I've got, let's go ahead and take Super Source Live. I've already got this little Stream Deck Plus. Takes up, as you can see here, about 5.5 inches. Squared on the desk. Let's see how much. Oh, this big boy. Let's see. Takes about 8 inches across and 7 inches deep. So quite a difference. I'm gonna go ahead and move my peach cobbler out of the way. Plug it in, fire it up. Oh. Wasn't enough out of my way. Alright, Stream Deck software is flipping out. Yeah, let's go ahead and install all these plugins. Cool. Whoa. Sure. Do all those things. Let me disable that box while I type in my password and whatnot. Cool. Neato. Alright. There's all kinds of stuff on this thing. So I can just like click and watch Nutty right now. Is that what that is? I'm already a little overwhelmed by this default profile. My goodness, that is a lot of buttons. Alright. I'm just going to go ahead and create a new profile. And we will rename this to Constellation Rack. Add a few pages. Hey, that's me. Don't want this. Do want companion. There we go. Buttons. Oh, you know what I forgot to do was load. I started sort of pre-programming some stuff. I will open that on my drive. Was that? Sure, let's download this. Oh, that's the one. I haven't uploaded it, so it was already saved here. Okay. Alright. This right here is Bitfocus Companion, which if you do live production, you might be familiar with. It controls pretty much everything. Here's just a small example of the things that I control on a regular basis. That's too small to read, but see, it's really convenient for not having to click back and forth when you're using a Blackmagic ATEM. You don't have to just flip back to the software. You don't have to buy their controller. You can buy one or many of these. I'm usually running 2 of the 32 keys and at least one of this one with the dials. Let's go full screen on the Mac, and I can show you some of the stuff. So I've got, like, you know, Casa smart plugs for studio lights. I haven't used those in a while. H2R Graphics, something I just updated. It's really great for, let's see. There we go. You get like a little graphics control room here. You can make little timers, messages that go across the screen. All kinds of lower third stuff for bringing guests on, scoreboards. You can play video through it on the Pro version. Really great little program. So that's here. OBS, MixEffect, which I don't have my iPad charged, but it gives you all kinds of control over, say, like your super source, and even just switching like this. When I have like a good network set up in a venue, I'll just have MixEffect open on my iPad so I can walk around, check screens, see how different effects look. I changed the frame rate of my switcher. Like if a video wall or projectors aren't liking the the aspect ratio or really the refresh rate. Can't change the aspect ratio, but if they don't like the refresh rate, I can do that pretty much remotely. And it gives you a lot more control over the super source. So you can change what boxes look like on the fly, what their position is, all that. But we're here to program some buttons. And the first thing we need to do in Stream Deck is make all of these buttons companion buttons, and right now I'll just do a dynamic, yeah, just, can I copy paste them? No. Yeah, you can really tell I wasn't ready for this stream because I don't have just a regular SM58 microphone. I have this 1950s 665 that's better for miking amps. It's the only microphone I found laying around in my house. All my other stuff is in storage right now. A lot of this here is about to be out on 2 different shows over the weekend. So I wanted to get as much of this done today so I could hopefully take this out on a show. This is one of the most tedious parts of programming a Stream Deck or adding a new profile. Once you get it down, I usually maybe make like 3 or 4 buttons on the fly on a show. Every now and then I have to build a whole page. But I like to have at least some kind of page built on Companion, and then I can just assign the buttons here. Let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and swap these boxes. Let's make box 2 the Mac. Box 1, my other bidirectional. There we go. And I can make box 2 a little bit bigger. Whoop. That way you don't see too much of my Uglo mug. Alright. Just peek out. Hi. Hey there. Alright. Back to Stream Deck. Alright. Okay, I can make all of these page 1. This row 0, column 0. That's when I should copy paste. Okay. Then I only have to adjust which row I am. There we go. 2 and 3. And then copy, paste. row, oh wait, row 0, column 1. This way I'm changing as few parameters as I have to. Just makes it a little more efficient. There has to be a better way. 2, column 0. Wait, nope. Row 0, column 2. Oy. And then just keep going down the rows and increment them as we go. That's row 4 because we start from 0, column 0, 4, column 1. Oh. Mm. 2, 3. Guess it's really just the same amount of clicks. Oh. Okay. So I'll start messing with that later. No. What I want to do is finish this first page and then copy it to the next page. And the only reason I do that instead of using these navigation buttons for Companion is because with the plus, you can swipe from page to page. And so I kind of like doing that. I'm actually going to end up getting rid of these nav buttons for this profile once I really get it up and going. Paste. Okay. So you can see them pop into the different button that is actually assigned here as soon as I change what column it is, and it's lining up nice and neat. Mm-hmm. Column 5, right? Okay. Oops. I did that wrong. Okay. Thinking of doing pretty much just a continuation of the same stream on Tuesday the 7th. So that way I can get a lot more of this done. I'll have more of the day to do it. That's 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. Alright, what column am I at? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go. Oh. 7. Row 2, column 7. Row 3, column 7. Okay. So, as you can see, their little April Fool's joke is still popping up for me. Alright, so I've got all these buttons here. I'm gonna sort of condense all that down, which you'll see on my other profile. So I'm gonna move that to page 1, and then duplicate this. Yeah, there we go. I'll still leave a couple of blank pages there. So page 1 and 2 match. So what I have to go through all this and do is just change the page number on all these to 2, and you'll see here that that just changed to ATEM 2ME. And you'll see all of these buttons sort of snap into their true identity for that page. As I just sort of go through, change the page button or page number on all of these buttons. I wish there was like an XML that I could edit or something. Just kind of go through and tell all of it, hey, all of these on this page, change the page number to X. But it's fine. An hour of work now saves me 10 hours down the line. With how many buttons this has, I'm probably going to condense the amount of pages that I use. Currently, yeah, even this, I've got like 17, but with some gaps in there. Yeah, I really don't even use this MixEffect page that much because I'll just use it on the iPad, but it's good to have. I haven't really programmed H2R on this. The audio, I'll probably make all of that available just on every page. Yeah, the pages I use the most on here are my 2ME switcher. This has all of my sources with a little extra control for QLAB. This button shows me the next queue and the current queue that's running. These go back and forth on the queue list. That's a panic button that stops all. This is for OSC point. Just gives me a little bit of control to start and stop slideshows on a PC. As my good friend Ralph Barrios, who showed this to me, says, "Dog, this is sliced bread." This is one of the greatest things that has happened to PowerPoint. It gives you the time remaining on videos, shows you how many builds a slide has, what slide you're on. You can swap between files. Just, there's a button that sets your wallpaper on your PC to the slide you're currently on. Fantastic. So that way it gives you a dump so that you can go like change to the next presentation. So you just set your wallpaper to your current slide, close this presentation, nobody sees it close because it's the background, so it's just there, and then you can open up the next presentation. It's magic. Yeah, a little bit of like transition stuff. So this was set up to have two of the 32 key stream decks side by side. And when I hit this key, it will actually shift to where ME2 is active. So when I'm doing live streams a lot, what I'll do, because this outputs the webcam as whatever's in ME1, your MixEffect, I can do all of my stuff that's in the room for a hybrid event. Like, we have a projector going, everything is switched on ME2. ME1 will typically have a super source look, sort of like this, where there's like picture in picture, typically a presentation on one side, presenter on another, and I like it to be the presenter is in a position that's relative to the screen in the room. So if they're ever pointing up at something, they're pointing at the presentation rather than, looking off to the side and just talking to the ether. Um, but yeah, that way there's a nice smooth switch in the room. I can do blending of graphics and stuff, and then send something totally different, but still include that mix, because you can bring ME2 into your super source on ME1, but it doesn't go the other way around. I have no idea if anybody's chatting. No, doesn't look like it. Fine. No viewers. Whatever. Didn't tell anyone I was streaming. But I'm recording this, so whatever. Yeah, so all these buttons just became active. So now I can actually start switching on the Stream Deck. I wasn't paying attention to that. Cool. So what do I have in ME2? Let me put camera 1 up in ME2. On ME1, I can switch to ME2. Oh, I gotta cut to that. There we go. Yeah. Back to ME1. And there we go. And now I can get rid of the super source easily. Cool beans. But then I'm still over here just telling all the pages, change to page 2. Move this box in my way. Cool. Yeah, already this is pretty sweet. I was kind of hoping when I saw the announcement for the Plus XL that would have like 40 buttons. I think that's the sweet spot. Because then I could have ME1 and ME2 active at the same time. But I think once I get rid of these navigation buttons, shift everything over to the left, I can just have the active buttons that I really need. I typically don't go through more than like 8 sources on a show. A lot of things are used as backups, so I can maybe change a button on the fly to move to the backup if I hold like a long press. That's something I can program in. What else? Yeah, but having this ME1 and ME2 activate, there's a lot of controllers that like Blackmagic makes. They'll make an ME1 or ME2 surface, and they have the same operability where you can control up to 4 MEs by just hitting a button off to the side, and it activates, instead of switching ME1 here or ME1 and 2 here, then you can switch ME3 and 4, or any of them really. You just change whichever bank you're using to the ME you want to use. So that's the concept I went with here. Just having that right there in the middle where I can hit it and jump to the ME I'm switching in. And let's see, there we go. Another thing I was thinking of doing was having having it switch to OBS also, so I can change scenes. That's a little more complicated, but that can always be just a page swipe away. Just, you know, swipe to page 99 instead of page 1. Have OBS controls there to change scenes. vMix I could also do there. I didn't change these buttons, so I need to do that here. Let's see, that's column 7. It's really 9 buttons across. That's cool. Another good practice, a lot of people on the bigger stream decks, they'll do things where like they separate it out. I've seen people just draw actual lines with like white paint or red paint to sort of separate out what they're controlling. You know, projector control here, camera control here, that sort of thing. With a page this big, I could leave blank buttons and just have, you know, what is this? 16 buttons on either side, and then just blank here. I could make a profile that has each of these be smaller pages within Companion, and then just have my navigation in the middle. That would be cool. A little small for what I use it for. But that's a good thought for like a home studio or something. All of these are page 1. Did I get all this to page 2? Let's column 7. These are 1 through 6. That means within Companion, I need to, when I build the bottom row here, leave that bottom button blank so that it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Note to self. 2, 8. Oop. All right. Pre-show, post. Cool. All right. So I at least have those pages loaded. Now, as I build this, all I have to do is go through, duplicate the pages, change the page number on each button, and yeah, I can get rid of you. Let's see. I'm going to, oh, can't navigate here because I didn't do that. So the nav page only works for me if I do have dynamic pages. Good to know. All right. Okay. Real quick, I'm going to export this configuration. Okay. And import the one that I was working on for plus XL work in progress. Now, it's giving me this warning before you proceed. Highly recommended to export the current system configuration, which I just did. Okay. Yeah, just import. Back to buttons. What have I built? Alright. That nav page is a little bit better. Everything's on one. Cool. But I'm not using all of those. Alright, how did I do this? I may have, when I did this, broken a bunch of stuff. So, this page, oh yeah. All these button steps are going to be out of order. Let me go back to that previous configuration. Or not. Let me see. Alright, so I've got inputs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14. Okay. Not too bad. I've got my cut, auto trans. So when I click that, whoa, it makes ME2 active. And it apparently changes my program to a multi-view. Not the look I wanted. Alright. Looks like I'm just spinning an infinity. Let's add to the infinity. Let's bring up OBS. Alright. Infinite infinities. Cool. That's how you break a stream, people. How did I bring multi-view? What in the world? Alright. That's cool. Okay. That went away. Good, good, good. Alright, I'll have to look into what was doing that. ME1 active does stuff. Changes the step of everything. So these buttons, like camera 1, step 1 is to bring camera 1 to preview in ME1. Step 2, that's a long press. Okay. Yeah, that's supposed to be a long press. Oh no. So that's if I had a ME lock is what I had. I don't think I actually have that in this configuration. So what that does is I can lock it to where ME1 and ME2 become cut buses. So if I hit that button, it will set all of these inputs to step 2 or 4, depending on what ME switch I have active. And that way I punch the button and it cuts to that source. I don't actually like that step, so I might just delete steps 2 and 4. Because I like to do it as a long press. I like to just, hold it, like usually if it's a backup button, I hold it for half a second and it goes to my backup. That's the only time I would really use the cut bus, because it's faster for me to just hit, my cam 1 backup cut, but I don't have cam 1 backup right now. And I think, yeah, my camera 2 is actually in my PowerPoint input. So I need to change that. Ooh, this is a mess. I wanted this to be show ready tomorrow. Not happening. Hey, at least I have this cool thing. This now, if I capture a still, so let's see. Take that stuff away. I can capture a still. That will throw it into my media player, and it should theoretically not doing it though. It should give me a little thumbnail on my stream deck of what was just captured. Don't know why it's not doing that. Oh, I don't have that macro saved. Okay, let's do that again. There we go. So that captured the still. Nope. There we go. You can see it. All right, I have that captured. So now, look at that. It throws a little thumbnail in there for me. Let's see me. Tiny little me. Happy little me. Cool. And then I throw that into Media Player 1. Yep. Cool. That's a newer feature that previously you would have to load a PNG separately into Companion as your little thumbnail, like the background for the button. But now it does it for you, and it's super sweet. I wish I had that on the show I did this past week, because I didn't know what still I was going to, but I really had the same still twice. I was just afraid I was bringing up color bars. Not a big deal, but if you go to color bars in the middle of a huge show, people tend to panic. It's like something went terribly, terribly wrong. Cool. So that means in Stream Deck, I need to duplicate this page and change it to page 3, and I got my little preview of me. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of these nav buttons because they're just taking up space. Really valuable real estate on my gigantic Stream Deck. And if I go through all this tedium, then I want to make it worth it. So what can I do? I think what I'll have to do is I'll have to make a navigation page on the Stream Deck itself, rather than have it be companion, so that this page will just go to here we go. It will go to a page number. There we go. Go to page. Nope. Get out of here. You're not the thing I wanted. Yeah. Okay. Kind of means that nav page that I built in Companion is kind of wasted. But whatever. That's fine. So these are a little bit easier to do. And then I can title the page, so... Oh, that means I don't need a page one. So that can be ATEM 2ME. Let's look at my nav page here for reference. That can be media, super source. Let's do lowercase. Oh. Yeah. And then whenever I build another page, I can just add it in here and do that. That's easy enough. Cool. Which means I won't quite wipe this page yet. What's that step? Okay, that was so that I could like dial to different pages. So that means, what was that? That was going to be this dial. Nope, that's not doing that. So that would be 4-1. Page 2, where's 4-1? Okay. So when I did that, it was supposed to step to the next pages after, what, page 32? Doesn't seem to be doing that. Oh, there we go. There we go. So I hit that. Yeah. Okay. But I could do that same thing within the Stream Deck software. Now, what I could do is delete this page, or make all the work that I did worth something. So it's all page 3. So I can change all this to page 4. And then, what's that, my audio page? Oh, it's my super source page. Okay. Yeah. So, sometimes when you're tempted to just delete something, stop and think for a second. Hoard your code. That's that's my slogan. Cool. Yeah. Very, very tedious. Okay. I need to use both hands here. Much quicker. There we go. Oop. I love it. So these are a bunch of super source presets that I have made. Let's see. Which one can I do that won't completely make this fly into disarray? All right. So this will activate and deactivate boxes, I think. Yep. There we go. Cool. Neato. Box 3 doesn't exist. So yeah, here's a 2-up preset. A little 3-up would usually have, you know, 2 more cameras right there. 2 and 1, 2 with a small one. Yeah, these are like different presentation presets. Don't seem to have any that are compatible with this setup. Oh, no, these are like, I think these might just be straight from MixEffect. So this is a host talking to 2 remote guests. Bring them in from Zoom or whatever. 3, throw the host on the end. You got room for graphics all around. That's a lot cleaner. I think I want to do something like that with the 3. Actually, just cluster them all there like that. Let's see. That just brings that into that source. Hey, look at that. Oh. Hey, I'm everywhere. What a horrifying thought. Okay. Alright. I've completely messed this up. Cool. Back to that. Not what I wanted. Box 1 should be Mac, right? And box 2 will make supposedly PowerPoint, but actually my overhead cam, which is this little guy. I just stuck this on a monitor arm so I can swing it around and get a view of my desk. There's my keyboard. There's my peach cobbler. Um, I think it's neat. Change my box positions here. Yep. Cover my face the way everyone wants it. That over there. Down a little bit. Let's center it up. And we'll make box 2 a little bit smaller. A little better. Okay. Yeah. So that's some of the things. I guess this will just be a preview of Tuesday's stream where I clean all this up, and I'll probably do a lot of this on site tomorrow and Monday. Probably just like load one page at a time, making sure I don't break things the way I did with the ME1 switcher. Excuse me. Okay, super source, routing. This routing is really fun. Came in handy this past week because I was having to change downstage monitors a lot. What was going to records. With this, I can just click the output that I want to assign, and then I click the source down here. So it does that same thing of whatever I click here sets the current step of all of these designated buttons, which it shouldn't set the step of that one. Oh, because this is still from when I had it configured to go across 2 stream decks. That makes sense. So I now have it configured to be just the one, and all my sources still fit, pretty much. Almost all my sources still fit. Yeah, sounds like my family's home, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump off so I can help get the baby to sleep. So thank you. Join me back here Tuesday. Probably get a lot more done on this, and I'll show steps and different things that I do with like recordings and transitions, other super source stuff that I build, for assigning inputs, resizing boxes, and things like that. Hopefully I'll have a better mic situation. I don't know if you can hear that buzz. Sounds like bees. My head is full of wasps. Fun. Cool. Alright, well, peace out. See you on Tuesday. That was almost bad. Alright.